The Nephilim and Anakim emerge as some of the most intriguing figures in the Bible, capturing our imagination with their immense size and power. Who were these giants that walked the earth, and what did their existence signify? Found in the pages of Genesis and Numbers, their stories prompt essential questions about the nature of good and evil, as well as the consequences of rebellion against God. To understand the Nephilim, we must begin in Genesis 6, 1-4, where the narrative introduces a striking union, the sons of God marrying the daughters of men. This mysterious phrase has led to various interpretations throughout history. Who are these sons of God? Some believe they were fallen angels, while others argue they were the descendants of Seth, God's chosen lineage. Regardless of the interpretation, this union resulted in the birth of the Nephilim. These giants were described as mighty men and men of renown, suggesting not only physical strength but also a reputation for wickedness. The context of this passage is critical. It occurs during a time of great moral decay, leading to God's decision to cleanse the earth through the flood. The presence of the Nephilim symbolizes humanity's departure from divine purpose and the consequences that follow. The Nephilim are often depicted as titans, embodying strength and fearsome power, but their nature extends beyond mere physicality. Genesis 6:4 describes them as the mighty men of old, suggesting they were renowned not just for their size but also for their valor, or perhaps their brutality. This duality raises questions about the true nature of their legacy. Were they heroes, or were they harbingers of chaos? Their existence symbolizes the consequences of human rebellion against God. As they roamed the earth, their actions contributed to a world filled with violence and corruption. The Nephilim stood as a physical manifestation of humanity's moral decline, a reflection of how far people had strayed from divine principles. The biblical account emphasizes that their greatness was not a blessing but rather a curse that led to divine judgment. The Anakim, often viewed as descendants of the Nephilim, are prominently mentioned in the narrative surrounding the Israelites' journey to the Promised Land. In Numbers 13:33, they are described as giants, which struck fear into the hearts of the Israelite spies sent to explore Canaan. The spies reported, "We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them," indicating the sheer size of the Anakim and the overwhelming sense of dread they inspired. The presence of the Anakim was much more than a mere physical challenge for the Israelites. It symbolized a deeper and more significant struggle in their journey. These giants represented the real obstacles that stood between the people and the inheritance promised by God. They were not just adversaries to be faced, but the embodiment of fears and insecurities that could paralyze a nation eager to fulfill its divine calling. The Anakim reflected the inner battles that the Israelites needed to conquer in order to enter the land that God had destined for them, revealing the connection between faith and action, courage and conquest. Victory over these figures was not just a matter of strength, but of overcoming the very limitations and beliefs that hindered their progress toward the fulfillment of the promise. The Israelites' encounter with the Anakim marked a critical turning point in their journey, highlighting the intense struggle between faith and fear. Faced with towering giants, they found themselves at a crossroads where trust in God was put to the ultimate test. This moment compelled them to confront their deepest beliefs, igniting a battle within as they prepared to step into a land brimming with challenges. The daunting circumstances served as a catalyst, forcing the Israelites to examine their courage and reliance on God's promises. Would they allow the intimidating presence of the Anakim to deter them? Or would they rise above their fears and embrace the destiny that awaited them in Canaan? Their response would shape not only their fate, but also the legacy of faith for generations to come. The narrative of the Nephilim comes to a decisive turning point with the Great Flood, an event that underscores divine judgment on humanity's wickedness. Genesis 6:5 states, "The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become." This declaration sets the stage for the flood, which serves as both a punishment and a means of purification. The presence of the Nephilim during this period indicates a severe moral decline, where their influence contributed to the corruption of society. As God resolved to cleanse the earth, Noah is introduced as a righteous man, chosen to preserve life amid impending judgment. The flood becomes the means through which God reestablishes order and righteousness. The narrative suggests that the Nephilim, along with the rest of humanity, face the consequences of their actions. The destruction of the Nephilim is not merely an event of physical annihilation, it signifies the end of a troubling era, characterized by violence and rebellion. Their fall serves as a sobering reminder of the fragility of human endeavors when they stand in opposition to divine will. In their demise, we see the ultimate assertion of God's authority and the promise of a fresh start for humanity through Noah and his descendants. The aftermath of the Great Flood did not erase the impact of the Nephilim and their kin. While the floodwaters receded, the stories of these giants continued to resonate through generations. In Deuteronomy 2:10-11, the remnants of their lineage, particularly the Anakim, are mentioned again as a people of great and tall stature. This acknowledgement suggests that the influence of the Nephilim persisted, even after their physical demise. The Israelites, as they approached the Promised Land, encountered not only the physical legacy of the Anakim, but also the psychological impact of their predecessors. The memories of the giants loomed large in their minds, serving as a constant reminder of the challenges they would face. This fear, deeply rooted in the past, shaped their perception of their identity as a people set apart by God. Moreover, the accounts of the Nephilim and their legacy serve as cautionary examples within the biblical narrative. They highlight the consequences of straying from God's path, emphasizing the importance of obedience and faithfulness. In this way, the giants become more than mere historical figures. They embody the ongoing struggle between faith and fear, reminding subsequent generations of the vital lessons learned from their existence. The giants symbolize the obstacles that often seem insurmountable. Just as the Israelites struggled with fear, many today confront challenges that can lead to doubt and despair. The accounts remind us that faith is not the absence of fear, but the decision to trust in God despite it. The presence of the Nephilim serves as a reminder of the consequences of moral corruption. Their legacy highlights the importance of living righteously, warning against the seductive allure of power and violence. By studying these giants, we are urged to examine our own lives, seeking to align our actions with divine principles and resisting the temptations that lead us away from God's path. The ultimate fate of the Nephilim and their descendants serves as a significant theme in the biblical narrative. Their existence prompts a divine reckoning that emphasizes God's authority and justice. In the New Testament, Jude 1:6 refers to the fallen angels who left their proper dwelling, linking them to the broader theme of judgment for those who defy God's order. The consistent portrayal of the Nephilim as beings destined for destruction highlights the seriousness of rebellion against divine will. Their narrative acts as a precursor to the broader message of accountability found throughout Scripture. God's judgment is not arbitrary, it is a reflection of His righteousness and the moral order He established. The eventual fate of the Nephilim points to the reality of eternal judgment, reminding readers that actions have consequences beyond this life. This theme resonates throughout the Bible, culminating in the final judgment described in Revelation, where all creation is held accountable for their choices. The narratives surrounding the Nephilim and their descendants invite us to explore our personal experiences with faith and fear. The Israelites' daunting encounter with these giants reveals a critical juncture in their journey, where their trust in God clashed with the intimidating reality before them. This moment serves as a powerful illustration of how fear can cloud our vision and prevent us from embracing the promises God has in store for us. In our lives, we often face giants, be it through personal challenges, overwhelming circumstances, or spiritual uncertainties. The accounts of the Nephilim remind us that while fear is a natural response, it should not dictate our actions or perceptions. Instead, we can draw strength from the assurance that God is always with us, as affirmed in Isaiah 41 verse 10, where He promises to strengthen and help us in times of trouble. Each challenge can become an opportunity for growth, a chance to deepen our reliance on His promises. By placing our trust in God, we can transform fear into faith, enabling us to walk boldly toward our destinies, knowing that He guides us every step of the way. If you found this exploration of the Nephilim and the lessons they impart compelling, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. By joining our community, you'll continue to receive insightful videos that deepen your understanding of biblical truths and spiritual wisdom. Your likes and comments are not just appreciated, they help spread the word and encourage others on their faith journey. Share your thoughts below and let us know how these stories resonate with you. Together, we can grow in faith and understanding. Thank you for being a part of this journey.